Hello, and welcome to Don't Starve, Reign of Giants. Figured that we might as well add a bit of extra variety to the channel, and this has been one of my favorite games in recent years. So, hopefully I'll be good at it on camera. And I figured, since we're doing Let's Play, let's start completely fresh from the beginning. Play as Wilson, world. Let's see, I like playing in a larger world. And let's see, there's one other change I want to make. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Lightnings are... here we are. I want a bit less... I forget which one of these adds more set pieces. Yes, and I'm going to assume that's just the little revival tablet altar things. I like to move that up. It seems to end up with a nice amount for a huge-sized world. Why not save this as a preset? Alright, we shall apply, and let's get into the game. But before we do that, let me start the timer. I do. Alright, let's get started. As soon as the world finishes generating. Say, pal, you don't look so good. You'd better find something to eat before night comes. Indeed I should. I was considering trying to do some kind of fancy voice with that, but I'm not very good at that sort of thing, so I'd probably just end up embarrassing myself. Back into Don't Starve after... Well, it's actually been a few months since I last played, and it feels good to be back. I think we started in autumn, if the coloration of the screen is any indication, which is good, because I hate starting in spring. Rain is just miserable. And although, interestingly enough, it's been raining a lot where I live lately, so it would probably have been fitting somehow if it was raining in-game as well. Also, this is my first time playing Don't Starve on a larger screen. I used to play it on my laptop while I was going to university, but yeah, I don't know, it just seems a bit sharper on this new monitor, which is always nice. Alright, so basically what we're doing to get started here is just gathering the basics of survival, just whatever happens to be lying around, some tufts of grass, some twigs, some berries, the usual sort of survival gear. And I like to just sort of wander around a bit the first couple of days, find the ideal location for setting up a more permanent home. And for me, that permanent home is usually something a bit more near Beefalo, preferably near a wormhole, just in case we need to make a hasty retreat, should the hounds or giants show up. Just in a birch nut forest so far, nothing particularly exciting here. Let's take a quick look at the map, if I can remember the key bindings. Tab? There we go. Alright, so that's where we started. Nice amount of resources there. Looks like there's plains biome over here, which is the first place we'll want to go if we are looking for Beefalo. And I've completely forgotten how to rotate the camera. Which is my fault for not looking up the shortcut keys before I started recording, if you don't mind. Let's take a quick look at that now. Let's see here. Left alt forces. Attack. Right F to attack. action, space, move, zoom in, zoom out, map, zoom in. Ah, Q and E, okay. Yeah, when I was playing on my laptop, I had to use the touchpad, so I got used to it, setting the controls a little different and all, but they'll be coming for you eventually, Gobbler. Don't you worry. Let me just check the map again. Yeah, so we have to head north, more or less, it seems, if we want to get anywhere. Starting to get a bit close to evening, but we are pretty well set. Let's get an axe going. That was actually a bit loud. There we are. Just chop a couple of trees down. I'll probably just be running around using torches for the first night or so. But it's always good to have a couple of logs, since you never know when you're going to need a campfire. And we have a bit of a road here, which is always useful. Increase our speed a bit, help us get around from point A to B. Though we have no real direction right now, so I guess that doesn't really matter. And my jaw is... I don't know, I've been making videos for a couple of days now, and yet for some reason I'm feeling a bit more nervous than usual. Oh well. Oh, and there's the grassland, or plains biome, right there. Bit of gold here. You know, if we can find beefalo here, right next to a graveyard, I don't know why that seems like a good idea, but I like it. And we have a path, which is also good. Actually, this looks like a fairly sizable grasslands biome, so hopefully we'll be able to find some beefalo. Since, I mean, once you find the beefalo, unless you make mistakes, it's pretty hard to die, since you get more than enough food and fur and other resources. Yeah, I pretty much make sure I pick up everything. In the beginning, at least. Eventually we'll want to come back and probably move some of these tufts, so we have convenient access later. Though even if we don't find any beefalo, I mean, there's lots of rabbit holes here, which would provide a good amount of sustenance. Except in spring, but since the rabbit holes are open, we know for sure now that we're definitely in autumn. Alright, it's getting kinda close to night. So we'll probably want to consider actually... Really? I missed... Well, I'm not going back for it now. Oh, what's this? There is a fort of some kind. Actually... You know what? I will make a campfire. Usually I like to keep running around the first night, especially on a huge world, where it can take us a while to find what we're looking for in a home. Oh, and I've completely failed to notice that I've got a massive stack of grass so far. You know, let's make a torch. We'll just kind of go out and explore the night. I mean, I hear a buzzing around somewhere, so I'm assuming there is possibly a field of... there's a beehive there. We'll want to come back for that eventually, since honey is always a useful... Oh my god! What? Oh, okay, it's just some wild pigs. I thought for a second that berry bush was on fire, which would have been rather unfortunate. But so far, so good. And I also like to try staying near the coast in the beginning, so I can sort of map out the edges of the world, and then fill in the middle as we go along. You know, another thing about this larger screen that I'm playing on is that it's a lot easier to miss my various hunger, health, and sanity meters over there. Alright, so there's a lot of... I mean, if... with that pig totem, and all that keeps spawning in wild pigs, so that's a pretty nice place to possibly go back and pretty much have an infinite source of pigs and berries. And looks like we've found... maybe this is a pig village? Or it could just be 2 random pig houses. And I haven't forgotten about that fort we left behind. We'll want to go back to that eventually, but this early in the game I feel it's usually a better idea just to map out the terrain, figure out what the world's like. Alright, and we seem to be in a birch-nut forest now, so if I recall, that means there's a pretty good chance of finding the Pig King. I believe he's usually in this sort of biome. And it's always good to find the Pig King as early as possible. Just leave the mushrooms behind for now. So I can never remember what the effects of the mushrooms are. So I generally just leave them until I've got a crock pot going, since they're always good for filling up. Just a lonely gold deposit here, which means it's probably a good time to make a pickaxe. And we're really starting to fill up our inventory, so we'll want to be careful about that, no doubt. And now it's raining. I'm still optimistic it's in fact autumn, and that we are not going to end up having to deal with a rainy season. Because I always hate going from, like at the beginning of the game, going from spring to summer. Don't worry, Wilson, it's alright. We will eat soon enough. Well, we have a pretty good haul, but might as well wait for nightfall. We can start a fire and at least cook the various carrots and berries. Hopefully the rain doesn't last too long. Have a carrot there. Huh. And what do you know? The rain stopped. I think we'll leave the birch nuts around, trees around for now. Don't need to... well, mostly because I don't want to end up with a bunch of birch nut. I mean, those are good and all. You can eat them, or plant them. No, but personally, I mean, we have these pine cones on us. I don't really know why I'm holding on to them this early. But that's kind of my problem in... well, not just in Don't Starve, but in games in general. Inventory management is almost always my downfall, because I just feel that I have to pick everything up. Just beginning a new adventure. Let's see. How are we looking as far as map is concerned? Alright. Got a pretty nice set of mapping so far. The Pig King, if I had to guess, might be in there somewhere. But we'll worry about finding him later. Hey there, Mr. Pig. Bunch of Cat Coon Hollows. We won't pick any fights right now. Alright, now we probably don't need to pick up any more twigs for now. And a new axe, that's always useful. Might as well cut down some trees. We'll wear out this axe, then go pick up that next one. Hopefully we don't anger any birchnut guardians. Back to try appeasing them. Let's plant a couple. Now I suppose maybe I might have wanted to hold on to one of those just in case. Since we have a pretty good food supply, but depending on how long it takes me to actually find our long-term shelter. Alright, so we're already pretty much full as far as inventory space is concerned. Which means we either have to hope we... Oh yeah, I never did end up getting to pick up this other axe. So we'll just kind of carry it around with us like that for now. It's almost nightfall, so we'll want to get our campfire going soon. But let's push ahead as far as we can for the time being. Actually, if we really want to push as far as we can, we'll just swap out the torch here, and then as soon as it gets too dark to see, we'll just equip the torch. Alright, and we're back into the plains, it seems. So maybe we'll be able to find the beefalo. Oh, I hear them. And I see the manure, so... Okay. Let's get a fire going. Oh. Don't die, not this early. That was pretty scary. Alright, let's just build our campfire here. Alright, so we found the beefalo. So, come morning, I think what we'll want to do is just take a bit of a look around, see... Well, I guess we have a torch. No. We have to eat first. Yeah, we're dying now, because I've been neglecting to eat. But I'm pretty confident. I don't think we're in any real danger of dying. Unless it's mating season and the beefalo are in heat. That would be rather awkward. Hey there. Nope. Beefalo seem to be in a friendly mood right now. Hi there, friends. Alright. Of course, we'll want to make sure that we're practicing... Oh, and there's a swamp right next door. Excellent. This is actually a really good setup, I think. Alright, let's stay out of the swamp for now. Oh, tentacle over there. I think to start with, let's try... I guess just mapping out the edge of the grassland, figuring out where the optimal place for our camp is. You know, somewhere moderately close to the beefalo, but also if we can get somewhere with a lot of rabbit holes nearby, that'll be good as well. So, because I don't like to overhunt the beefalo, since, you know, if history has taught us anything, you don't want to hunt more than is sustainable. Of course, I mean, just 1 or 2 seasons of mating for the beefalo, and they end up basically overpopulating. But it's always good to have more beefalo than less, especially since they can help us fight the giants later on. Alright, looks like there's, I guess, several areas with beefalo in this grassland, which is good. It means we don't have to worry too much if we hunt one particular herd to extinction, since there'll be always another herd. But the question still remains, where exactly do we want to build our home? Personally, I don't like building in the grassland itself, though it's easy enough to start terraforming. The birch-nut forest isn't too bad, and we can replace some of the birch-nut with pine trees now and then. Get a bit of variety, and because I personally find the birch-nut guardians to be significantly more annoying to deal with than tree guards. It's the roots and whatnot, that's the problem with birch-nut guardians, I think. And all much harder to fight. In my personal opinion, of course. No, I mean, they're not that difficult if you just pay attention to what you're doing, but I guess that kind of goes without saying in Don't Starve. I mean, nothing is particularly dangerous if you know what you're doing, but as soon as you lose respect for your enemy, that's when you start making mistakes, and when you start making mistakes, that's when you start dying. Now, we're kind of wandering away from the beefalo again, because before I start setting up a permanent home, I like to have a pretty good lay of the land, because, I don't know about anyone else, but for me and my playstyle, I find that once I build a permanent base, I just stop exploring as much, and the sooner I stop exploring, probably the less exciting things are going to become. Passing a lonely grave over there. Looks like we're getting into spider country. So we'll have to remember to come back here later on when we want some silk eventually. Do we want to start following that? I mean, might as well. Hopefully it's a Qualiphant and not a big hound. And I've already lost the trail. Wonderful. Alright, let's take a look at the map. Let's see here. So the beefalo are pretty much all in here in this unexplored terrain. And well, actually, we could probably start our camp maybe around here, or maybe we'll explore in here and see what's going on before we make any final decisions about where we want to make our home. But night is coming soon. And actually, with the coming of night, we'll probably want to wrap up this episode shortly. So I think we'll set up camp for the night and then wrap this first episode up. Yeah, so I guess let me know in the comments if you want to see more Don't Starve. And also leave a like if you like the video. And maybe consider subscribing, help build the channel a little bit. And all, since the channel lives and dies with the support of its viewers. So, that said, actually I'm pretty much just filling time now. And I'll, I guess, practicing outro type things to say. Yes, I'm still quite new to the whole YouTube thing, really, and any feedback is most appreciated, since it ideally makes me start producing better content that's more enjoyable to watch. And I mean, I'm so far really enjoying just making these videos. There's something about just talking at the screen right now, really, and playing. I don't know, there's just something about it I really like and hope to keep doing it. But, alright, it's almost nighttime. Let's see if we can't uncover a bit of... Let's get the campfire ready for when night approaches. I think what would be really awesome would be if there was some sort of grass, like the nice green foresty type grass somewhere in the middle of all this, and we'd make our home there, I reckon. Oh. No. Alright, and with that close call, let's set up our camp for the night. Cook up a couple of these carrots. No, not gold. Just to top off our hunger. Alright, and with that, thank you all for watching. We'll end this first episode of Don't Starve Reign of Giants, and I'll see you next time.